Well, hello, everybody.
Good evening.
Long time no see. I've had a very busy last couple of weeks. I went and visited my son. Had a wonderful trip and visit with him. And everything was safe flying for the most part, other than some truckers that tried to run me off the road. But the Jeep overcame those obstacles. And, work was a little hectic yesterday. Work's been hectic.
You're trying to catch
all the time lately, right?
Well, you're trying to catch up right now.
Hi, they call me Pukey. Hi, Nana of 14. So I kind of will give people a couple of minutes to get in before we jump into topic of the day or topics of the day. I want to thank everybody for the prayers for my cousin. He is still having complications due to COVID, but he is not in the hospital anymore. So that is a good thing. Hello, Sakura Girl. Hi, River. And of course, Martha and Casbat and all of my wonderful mods and Lori, of course, up here on panel with me. Let's see. What else was going on that I might have missed? I don't know, but it was nice to go to the beach. That was nice. It was cold. The water was cold. The weather was nice. The water was cold. But we did find a new beach access. So I'm sure we will be taking full advantage of that on another visit.
There was shopping as well.
There was definitely shopping. We had the back of the Jeep filled to the brim on the way home. So there was definitely shopping. I spent way too much money, but I got some really good deals and some clothes and some shoes, and I didn't bring any Lori. I didn't bring Lori any size 9s, and I kind of felt bad about that.
You should.
I could have brought you some mismatched stuff. Right?
Just what I need.
All right, so let's kind of get into this topic. So I took actually a lot of point notes over the last, I had a bunch of notes before and I've made more notes since. Actually, before I left, I kind of started because I knew I wasn't going to be able to do a live until after I got back. But I decided we're going to start the evening with talking about friendships. And I kind of wanted to start out talking about how Lori and I became friends. Because it kind of goes to show how, like everybody doesn't just meet and handshake and, friendships don't just form, instantaneously like that, right? So I started working at this job, and Lori was the person that trained me, and it's an accounts payable job. And I had heard from her and the person that hired me that the person previous to me obviously didn't know how to work a 10 key. And so I remember the first couple of days, Lori's going, "Are you sure you know how to do a 10 key?" Because she's sitting there showing me how to do all this stuff, and I'm ferociously taking notes. And she kept looking at me and going, "Do you know how to work a 10 key? Are you sure you know how to do a 10 key?" Yes, I know how to do a 10 key. So she's, kind of giving me the lay of the land and who is this and who is that. And this person, these people are kind of a clique and these person aren't a clique. And these people are pretty nice and these people not so much. And all the, all that stuff.
And I was right.
Yes, to your credit, you were right. But by the time I had learned the job and was kind of on my own, doing stuff and then going back to her with questions, I I remember sitting there thinking to myself, okay, so she's told me all this stuff, and I either have to trust that what she's telling me is the truth, because I don't know her. I don't know her any more than I know anybody else there. And although she's the person I spent the most time with. Oh, you don't know what a 10 key is? Okay, you know keyboards that have the little numbers?
A calculator.
Or yes, that's a 10 key.
Like an accountant uses.
Or, you know, like the big kind of boxy calculators that have the running tape behind them. That's a 10 key. Because you're typing in the numbers on there, right? So you know, you kind of have to make a decision. Do you trust this person? Because if they're wrong, I mean, because in my head, the two options were she's trying to help me out. And, she's trying to show me the ropes, or she's setting me up for failure, right? And I didn't know which one it was. But I decided that it was probably in my best interest, as this was the person that was teaching me to do this job, and she didn't want to do this job anymore because she had her own job to do. She probably wasn't walking down the road of setting me up for failure. As Beth says, the one when I accidentally put my number lock on and then type a long number to find out I'm typing nothing. Yes, that one.
I think we've all done that.
Yes, it's that one. And so I decided to go with that, and we started eating lunch together, and we started talking, and here we are, like 4.5 almost years later, and we're extremely good friends. And it doesn't happen overnight, and you have to build that trust, but she pretty much sees me at my best and my worst, because trust me, my worst is mostly at work.
Mine too.
Although, my family knows how to push my buttons, but mostly at work, the stupidity there sometimes just kind of overrides everything. So it was kind of interesting because I was poking around before I came live, and I found this website had this thing about friendship, and I read it and I thought, well, this is kind of interesting, because I guess I never really thought about it this way, but it does kind of make sense. It says, as important as marriage is, it's not sufficient in and of itself to satisfy our total need for companionship. That's why there is another realm for companionship, that is friendship. Marriage cannot satisfy your total need for companionship. That is why God also created friendships. There are 4 levels of friendships that are important to understand. So this was kind of the point I wanted to get into, is these 4 levels of friendships. Because I had actually realistically, you kind of know this, but I never actually heard them put kind of into categories like this, but it does kind of make a little bit of sense. First, there are acquaintances. These are the people you meet day in and day out. Perhaps the teller at the bank window, or perhaps the grocery store clerk. These are people you run into. In 1 year's time, you'll probably make anywhere from 500 to 2,500 acquaintances. Most of these friendships are superficial. They will never go any deeper. And see, that number kind of surprised me, because I guess you don't really think about how many people, hi, thing 1. You don't really think about, where's thing 2 then, right?
That's what I wondered.
Okay. I don't know. That number seemed kind of high, 2,500. But I guess if you think about it, if you go on a family vacation, and let's face it, I know if you go on when I go on a family vacation or any kind of trip, you're usually in a good mood because you're not at work. So you tend to be friendlier to these strange people that are all over, saying hi to them and all those kinds of things. So, I guess it's feasible, but obviously in the past year with COVID, we certainly haven't done that, right? Because we haven't physically run into very many people. especially people that aren't going to the grocery store and stuff. All right, second, there are casual friends. These are people you know on a first name basis. A conversation with these people, whether at church or at work, involves superficial issues such as the stock market, politics, sports games, children, and so forth. Some of these casual friendships may only last a few months. Some may span a lifetime. I actually thought it was kind of interesting that those conversation pieces, politics as superficial. I mean, because people get very passionate about politics, religion too, right?
Right.
I could see the stock market being superficial, but I guess I never considered talk about children being superficial, but I guess it kind of is, because everybody who has children, well, let's face it, and husbands, right? We kind of all mention the same kind of things about them. When I talk about my 15-year-old, I hear lots of people go, oh, yeah, that's that age, right? That's that age. They hold themselves up in their room and they don't want to have anything to do with you until they need money, or permission, right? We all kind of complain at work even. Pretty much everybody's complaining about the same. Their husbands are doing the same type of things. And I'm sure that all the guys talk about us wives, and they probably are having similar complaints about us. I mean, not that we have of them, but the complaints they're complaining to each other about us are probably similar things. Third, there are close friends. Depending on your social network, your close friends can number anywhere from 5 to 25 people. These are people who are neighbors, church members, work associates. And usually these relationships are characterized by a mutual agreement on many of the basic issues of life. Okay. So that's kind of an interesting statement, because I have friends that are probably in the close friends category that I can honestly say we don't have mutual agreement on the basic issues of life, other than the fact that we mutually agree to disagree about certain things, right? But I guess that just says something about the people, right? If you can do that. And then fourth, there are intimate friends. Usually no one has more than 6 intimate friends in a lifetime. These are people with whom we can share our deepest feelings, the people with whom we can be most open. These are the people we call at a time of crisis in our life. And although the nature of these friendships can change over time, usually they will endure a lifetime, regardless of geographical location. These are people maybe you won't see for a few years, but as soon as you get back together with them, it's just like you're picking up where you left off. These are intimate friends. Okay, so I guess I have to put you in that category, because every minor crisis I have, I go like, can you believe this shit? Right? Okay.
Right back at you there, sister.
So then it says, it's important to understand these different levels of friendship to protect you from one of the most dangerous enemies of friendship. And that is unrealistic expectations. When you expect a casual friend to behave like an intimate friend, you are doomed to disappointment. And I thought that was a very interesting thought concept there, right? So maybe sometimes we do, I don't know, I guess I always thought about it maybe as rushing friendships, right? But maybe it really is more the expectations that people have. They think, okay, like this person thinks that, maybe you're close friends, but the other person thinks you're just casual friends. I could see where that would cause a conflict, right? Now, I've always looked at level of friendships. I guess I never really gave them names like this person did, who is a doctor evidently, but this seems to be from a religious website. I don't know, but this guy's name is Dr. Robert Jeffries, Jeffreys. And it's from a devotional. But I've always looked at it like levels of trust, right? So if I trust you a little bit, you might be down here towards the bottom, right? But if I trust you like quite a bit, you're probably somewhere in the middle, right? But if I trust you a whole lot, you're probably pretty high up there. But in my head, like I trust 100% very, 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 very few people, right? And I think most people or a lot of people may run under that premise because it really is a self-preservation mechanism. On the flip side, like I have really good friends that, well, Lori, you and I don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. Now we're the same religion. We kind of had similar backgrounds growing up, and I mean, those kinds of things. Then you look at somebody like Kaz and I. Kaz and I are complete, not opposite ends of the spectrum, because we're both more towards halfway towards the center, probably, of those ends of the spectrum. But like we don't agree, like we're not the same religion, we're not, like politics is not the same, and yet we get along really well too, right? I think a lot of it has to do with the people, and I think you have to be able to try to read people. So I thought this was an interesting thing to talk about because we've seen a lot of friendships break up, people turning against each other. And some people may not know what happened. Some people may not understand what happened. Other people are getting hated on. And yeah, I have to wonder why that is. So one of the things that I also was thinking about is, okay, so if you hate somebody, which I generally don't hate people, first of all, we're not supposed to. It's not good and healthy either for your mental state of mind. And hate only hurts you as a person. It really never hurts the other person. Even somebody who hates somebody to the level that they commit murder or something, okay, so it hurt that person until they were dead, right? But the ongoing hurt is with the person who did the hating, right? Their hate for that person didn't go away. Which is why if you watch a lot of families who go through huge tragedies, oh, hang on a second. Guess who has entered the building? The Daffy Duck, Mad Dog of Halifax. Sorry I'm late. I've just been fighting despicable infidels. Okay. Well, I am so happy that you showed up today. Because everybody could use a little laughter, right? Hate only damages you. The other person doesn't feel a thing, usually. Correct. Even if you're actively trying to do stuff against them, they're not feeling the hate. They might get annoyed. They might, if they have some kind of issue, like they have anxiety or something, it may, do something to that. But they're not going to actually feel the level of hate that you do. That's why when you watch families who have been victims of, crimes like murder and stuff, now some of them will tell you that they're never going to forgive the perpetrator of the crime, but a lot of people will tell you that they forgive them because they know that forgiveness is healing to you, not the other person, but to you. I mean, sure, the other person likes to hear that, yes, you've forgiven them, but the forgiving somebody heals you. It gets rid of that hate. And, where did that hate come from? I don't think anybody really instantaneously hates somebody, right? It comes from anger. Why do we get mad at people, right? Usually it's because there's some kind of caring involved. Like, I would never get mad at Lori for doing something that I didn't. No. Right? Like, I would never get mad at Lori if she did something I didn't like, if I didn't care about her, right? Like, if I didn't care about you, I wouldn't care.
True.
It wouldn't matter, right? That's why we, our anger comes out a lot with our family, and we get really aggravated and mad, and our kids, we're trying to guide them on this path, and they misbehave, and we're trying to redirect them onto the right path, and they're fighting us tooth and nail, and, they're pushing your buttons, and they're going, come on, get pissed off, right? It's all because we care about each other, right? Generally, people, I would think, have some sort of caring for other human beings just because they're human beings. Now, there are people out there that don't. We see those serial killers out there that do not care about people in general, but even they typically have people they care about. So there were some other things that I think the friendship thing kind of stems off into these other things, although, we're all here on YouTube, and people have communities, and some people are commingled in other communities, right? And one of the things that I've been watching, people that are trolling other creators and saying, bad things about them on other people's channels. And to be honest, I don't watch these channels, but people have pointed them out to me. So, there's two things that goes on. So of course we're all curious. I mean, females typically are curious and nosy, right? So we all kind of have to admit a little bit of that regardless. The other is, I have a community of people that I do feel like I have to watch out for. And to me, it's kind of about the greater good, right? So if somebody says, well, so-and-so said, and they put a link, right? I feel like a lot of times if it could be something that, if it's not true, could be detrimental to somebody reading it, that I need to go and make sure that what they're saying is true so that I can correct it if it's wrong, or warn people that they may not interpret it the same way, right? Sarah, hello to all. Have been a long time since I've seen all of you. Yes, yes, I've had a lot of busyness going on in my life, and then I went on a week's trip to go visit my son. So yes, I know. And then I had this scheduled. I thought, oh, I'll surprise everybody, and I'll do this live over the weekend. And then I swear, an hour before
It was.
Yeah, I think it was actually like 12:09, and my mom texts me and tells me that my cousin got taken to the hospital, and it kind of, I mean, if you're not a YouTuber, you probably don't understand this, but before you go live, you kind of have to get yourself in the mindset of what you want to talk about, because you don't want to get up here and start stuttering over yourself or being nervous or any of those kinds of things. So you kind of want to mentally be prepared. And something like that just, kind of takes the air out of you, and you have to kind of regroup, which is why I rescheduled it. And one of the things that seems to happen among creators is, and I've been noticing this, and I've been noticing it for actually quite a while. I mean, I've had my channel, this June will be 2 years. But I've been watching YouTube for a long time, and I was watching gaming way before I ever started watching true crime or anything else. And one of the things I notice is there are some creators who realize that everything they do and say, particularly under their channel name, affects their community in one way or another. There are others who do not. So, for instance, if I was to go on to, I don't know, some kind of crazy, maybe what white supremacist website, YouTube channel. I know they try to squash all of those, but anyway, and I was like, said something really nice over there. And one of the people that watch my channel happened to see me say that. They probably will be shooting me a message going, "What the hell are you doing? Like, I thought you were like this." Because I think sometimes we don't think about the fact that the other night I was thinking about this in terms of Hollywood, right? So people watch stars on a movie or in a TV show. Hi, soul sister. Yes, it was, well, maybe 7 your time, but yeah, we decided to go a little early so that some people wouldn't have to go to bed. So, and because I was ready to go, and I have to get up very early in the morning. So I didn't think about that when I scheduled the time. So I don't think that the creators think about how what they do is going to affect their community. My community started off at 0, right? I had myself. I had
Me.
I had you. I had Yo. I had I had sent kind of here and there. But then people start finding your channel, and then they start coming, and then when it's very small and you have like 15 people, and you have 5 people showing up to the chat, it's very easy to cater to those couple of people. As you grow, and some people explode, and thank goodness that doesn't happen to me, because I don't want that. But some people explode, and they explode so fast that they can't like catch up to it, right? You still have your people, because I've watched this happen with some gamers even. You have this little core group that you had that you started off with, right? And you feel very, I think, beholden to them, because they were loyal to you at the very beginning when you were like talking to yourself and scratching your head and making all kinds of mistakes and stuttering, and oh my God, I got to go to the bathroom, and just like maybe you forget to cut your mic, or just any kind of stupid thing that you do when you're starting out. Sarah says, "Oh, good, you had a vacation, WhiteTiger." Oh, I like that new name. Unolude. I like that. It's a typo, but I love typos sometimes. What Big Eyes and Casbat and Sakura Girl and Eminem Mama. Okay, so you kind of hit everybody there. So it's very difficult as a YouTuber to decide or determine how you're going to go forward with your community, and yet still show appreciation for the people that have been with you through the stupidity when you were starting out, and they're still there with you. I have a lot of people that came on very early. Mrs. Roger Rabbit, I hooked up with Casbat pretty quickly. It's what happens. And then as more people come, then you build relationships with new people, and then some of those relationships get close, and then like you might turn them into moderators. Like I have some new moderators, and then like you have your chat platform, and mine happens to be Discord. It's what I know and it's what I enjoy, and um, then you start off with 10 people, and then one day you go in there and there's 100 people, and you're like, oh my goodness, right? And then you're like, who are these people? And some of these people, you don't know who they are. They're either under a different name, or they might be under their YouTube name, but they've never chatted in your live chat or made a comment. You don't know who they are. You send them a message, they don't answer you. And then, you have people who end up in your Discord who they're a bit scared of saying things, because what if somebody does this or takes this and goes here? And these are all things that come up that you think about them, right? But when they happen, you are kind of invested in some of the people, and you have friendships with some of the people, and then you have some of them are probably acquaintances, and other people you've never talked to. And how do you take that group of people and be fair to everybody, right? And you can't give everybody what they want. You just can't. When you get to a certain amount of people, you just can't. You can try to give as many people as possible what they want. But there's also the fact that on the flip side, the people on the other side of the spectrum, the people who are not the channel creator, the people who are not the moderators, because trust me, moderators spend a lot of time that they don't have to, doing the very same things that the channel creator or the YouTube creator does. Besides the fact that they're just not doing the lives, and they're not doing the videos, even though they might be helping or partaking in things that are going on. But on the flip side, the people that you're trying to please do not think about the fact that this person doesn't have an unlimited amount of time. So they're trying to allot their time properly and trying to take care of you. And then it's kind of like somebody throws a rock, in the flywheel, right? And everything comes to a complete halt because it gets locked up, right? Sometimes people have to make decisions that other people don't like. I have had to do that quite a bit. I had to do it when I was like hardcore gaming, and I have to do it at this point, it seems, in the game of YouTube, which, I mean, it kind of is. Yes, it's a hobby, and yes, we like to enjoy ourselves, and yes, we'd like to try to have fun, but unfortunately, people are people, and everybody is different, and everybody has different personalities, and not everybody is nice, and not everybody thinks before they act. I mean, we all make mistakes, but sometimes you have to do what's better for the group rather than an individual or 10 individuals, as opposed to 50 individuals or 100 individuals, right? And so, the last few days I kind of have had to think about those kinds of things. And of course, friendships affect those decisions, right? If you have somebody really close to you coming to you going, I can't take this anymore, you're going to have to do something about this. Well, then you're going to feel like you have to do something about it, right? But then if somebody, kind of maybe down further on your trust list says, well, I don't like this, you need to do something about it. And then when you're conferring with the other people that are in your smaller circle of trust people, right? and they say, well, no, it shouldn't be like that. You're kind of in a pickle. And I cannot imagine that there is a YouTuber on the planet that doesn't run into that unless they do everything themselves. And I can't even see that happening, right? Because once you get more than a few people, you can't do it by yourself. You have to have some people, and you have to put some trust in some people, right? But then you have to think about the type of people that you and your moderators are dealing with. Seems like some channels have a lot of miserable, unhappy people. Okay. If as a creator you have a lot of miserable, unhappy people, I don't know, I would think that you might look at yourself and see if you're a miserable, unhappy person. And if you are, maybe it's kind of soaking out into your audience, right? Not really the thing that you want to have, I wouldn't think, out there with your audience. You don't want to make them feel worse, or because let's face it, there are a lot of people that you have watching you that are not in the chat. Hi, Deanna Bates. God, I hope I'm not missing too many messages.
You're not.
Sarah, what? All people aren't nice on YouTube? Say it ain't so. No, not everybody is nice. It's just like the real world, right? Because these are real people. These are real people in the chats. These are real people making comments after the videos. These are real people on panels doing lives. And yes, there's a whole garden variety of people. And one of the things that also came to mind in having to make decisions in my mind that to me benefit the whole rather than the few. And I don't know if that's just kind of because that sort of philosophy is like pounded into my head from my upbringing in a Catholic faith, right? Catholic schools, like it's all about everybody, right? When I was young, one person screwed up in the class and the whole class got punished. I had to write a 200 when I was in everything happened in 6th grade. I swear to God, I don't know what happened that year. But we had this
the hormone from hell year. What are you talking about?
I don't know. We had this. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go off topic for a little moment for a WhiteTiger story. We had this male English teacher, right? This was the same guy that, made the dude kneel on pens, right? When he acted up, because he warned us at the beginning of the year that was going to be the punishment.
Ouch.
Well, somebody didn't, he gave us this homework and we had to take this test. And he told us all we had to score above a certain thing on this test, right? And if we didn't, we were all going to get punished. Let me tell you, the punishment, of course, probably the same kid that kneeled on the pens, right? Didn't get the score we needed. And we ended up having to write a paper that night, 200 words on the importance of stopping at a stop sign. Now, I'm in 6th grade. I don't really know why it's so important to stop at a stop sign. I haven't even thought about getting a driver's license yet, right? And he specifically told us, sorry, I had to take a drink. He specifically told us, I don't want any more than 3 berries anywhere in, right? So, because the boys would have gone.
Very, 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 very.
Yes,
very,
like, 50 lines of very across the paper. But it was a good lesson. I mean, at the end of the day, I do think it was a good lesson, because if you can write 200 words in 6th grade on the importance of stopping at a stop sign and please the teacher, the English teacher, I don't know, I think you're doing all right. Even though you're not the one that got in trouble because you didn't do anything. I also have been hearing a lot about, well, of course, since there was kind of this debacle over on one person's channel, and then a couple people made a channel, and then everybody kind of tried to come together, and then, I mean, people are different. So of course people are going to decide they're not going to get along with each other, and that's fine. But I got to thinking that all of these people that accuse other people of saying bad things about them, and I'm not going to name anybody, but let's start at the creator level, right? If you're going to say bad things about people, I sure hope that you've never said anything bad about anybody else, right? Which I know is not true about at least people that come to my mind. I'm quite sure that there are people in this audience that watch a variety of YouTubers, and I'm sure have come across at least a couple. Now, I don't really consider talking bad about people when, let's say, for instance, we experience this. You have a really bad day at work and somebody does something really stupid, and you go, "Hey, friend, can you believe so and so? I actually did this the other day." I'll go ahead and say it and hope to God she doesn't watch this, right? So I'm not going to say her name because there's somebody around town here in the YouTube world that has the same name, and I certainly don't want her to think I'm talking about her. But I have a Jeep friend. I will call her a Jeep friend, right, at work. And yesterday, one of my many, many trials and tribulations at work yesterday was I needed to get on to a vendor website to download 233 invoices that they had issued us last week because they sent me a report. And I went to log into the website, and I clicked the login button, and the page was white and it kept flickering. And I looked up at the address line in Chrome, and the refresh button, it's like somebody is constantly hitting the refresh page button. And I'm like, what on God's green earth is going on here? So I called another coworker who I knew had this problem last week after I got back from vacation. And I asked her if she got it fixed because I wanted to know what she did. And she said, "Oh, no, that was Friday. I didn't try it again today." I said, "Okay." So we have somebody that's kind of, got other than accounting contacts that is my Jeep friend. I'm going to call her that. And I Teams messaged her and I said, "Hey, can you get into this website, or are you having problems?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I could the last time I tried, but I haven't tried lately. Why?" I said, "Well, I'm having problems." So she tries that. She says, "Oh, no, I can't get in." Okay. She says, I'm gonna contact them. So she contacts them. She comes back and she says, "Are you using Internet Explorer?" I hope she finds this humorous if she ever listens to this, because the only reason why it agitated me was because of the way the whole entire day had been going. Anyway, he says, "Are you using Internet Explorer?" And I type back, because we're typing. So, of course, it's easy to misconstrue things when you're typing, which is, generally why I like to talk to people. But because we're not in the office, you can't just walk over to somebody's desk, and say, "Hey, what's going on?" And then you could see what in the heck was going on with the website. So I said, "No, we're supposed to be using Google Chrome. I'm using Google Chrome." And she says, "Oh, because it doesn't work with Internet Explorer." Okay. Well, I'm not using Internet Explorer. So she comes back, and she pastes this. It looked like somebody had sent her some kind of instruction thing. And at the top of it, it said something about Internet Explorer, which I immediately crossed off my checkbox list. But it said you had to be using like Chrome 0.89, with the 25 digits behind it, whatever it was. And I said, I don't have time to look to see what my Google version is right now. And she goes, are you using Internet Explorer? And now this is how I am. I'm blunt, I'm straightforward. And I said, and mind you, most of the time I'm typing in caps because usually the work that I'm doing, I have caps on. So I tend to forget to change it when I'm messaging people. I said, no, I told you I was using Google Chrome. And I thought, God, I hope she's not mad at me. But, I mean, that actually covers a variety of things there. Typing to people can be misconstrued. Little bitty things can aggravate you after you've had a day of hellacious messes. And the thing to me is like, hello, is anybody home? Did you pay attention to what I said the first time? Or when you talked to tech support, did they like hit the reset button so that you forgot what I told you because you had to remember what they told you? I don't know. But it was kind of funny. And, but it's just one of those things. I think that, I don't know, people maybe sometimes should think about that. And when you're talking bad about other people, and I don't mean like, oh my God, this so-and-so, I don't mean cussing them out. I just mean saying anything that could be construed as, I guess, negative, because I know that we seem to have this reputation of being some kind of hate mob or lynch mob. I don't know what in the hell they think we are, but because what people vent and say things that are on their mind. I mean, because after that incident yesterday, I was like, oh my God, Lori, can you believe that? But, I also told her 50 other things that had been going on. And, by the time that happened in the day, I was just like, how many more things could possibly go wrong? Right? I mean, because you're just waiting. When's the next one? When's the next one? Of course, this morning, just so that everybody knows when oh gosh, I left my pitchfork in the shed. Tana Bates says, I trust God, my dogs, and my mom. That's a pretty good list of people to trust. And I get there this morning and guess what? I can click the button to log in and it populates my name and password, and I go to click the login button. Guess what happens? I get an error. So somehow I have found some kind of problem going on their website that they're supposed to be working on. Doesn't make me feel any better. So we kind of had to circumvent the system to get my 233 invoices that, of course, they want us to pay, that I can't pay until I get them. Which brings me to we were talking about this before, about anger. People get mad because you care, right? Like I care about my job. I care about, my job being done timely. I care about paying the bills on time. I care about all those things, which is why I get aggravated and frustrated and mad sometimes when things don't work the way that they're supposed to. But when we're typing things about other people, which this is funny. I told you this today. We had our meeting and I found out that we were told that this program that we're going to for communication, that when you record meetings, that I guess there's a background private messaging you can do behind the scenes or whatever, gets recorded also. So if you send somebody that meeting, all that text will be in there. And the way that it was put to us was, so if you're going to talk bad about somebody, don't do it there. And of course, and this is me, because this is how I am, right? Not that I'm planning on saying anything bad about anybody, but Does it tell us when it's recording? And of course, he got a big laugh out of it. But, I mean, come on. I mean, there was a reason he was telling us this. He doesn't want anybody to get in trouble, right? Nobody really wants people to get in trouble. Oh, I forgot to look up that quote I wanted to, but I do think that it did make me think about this too, that people really need to think about what they're saying before they write it down. I know that I have had some people come to me over a period of time, and they're worried that people are carrying information from here to there to everywhere. And maybe it sounds a little harsh, but at the end of the day, if you're worried about the things that you say getting to somebody because it's something you wouldn't say to their face, first of all, you probably shouldn't say it. Second of all, you probably shouldn't write it down, because more than likely somebody has it. Even if it's kind of like a Facebook post, right? You can post something on Facebook and somebody else screenshot it, and then you go, oh shit, I shouldn't have posted that. And you delete it. Well, if that person screenshotted it and shared it, and God knows where it ends up, right? Like it can end up across the planet for all you know. The same thing is liable to happen in any chat program you use or voice, messaging. I mean, people do shady things. It's not just in YouTube. It's, every social media outlet, the real world, people do shady things. And sometimes I think I would like to see people think more, I think, before they open their mouths or open up their fingertips. I don't know how else to say that, right? Like,
that was pretty good.
I
like that.
You're kind of talking with your fingertips.
Mm-hmm.
I think going along with the friendship too is this trust. I know that I have, for a very long time in my life, put people kind of in these pockets of trust levels, right? And in my mind, like, the highest level is my husband, right? I mean, my kids still lie to me, so,
that's not going to go away soon.
You can't really put them in that pocket. But, if anybody even has any friends that reach that level, is probably not very many, right? And then, it kind of, for me anyway, it goes down from there. And I don't know how other people kind of delineate their friendships. I've actually had friends that anybody, they like shake their hand and find out what their name is. And, oh my gosh, we went to the same high school. Because around here, where you went to high school is a big deal.
That's a big deal.
It's like, I don't care that you have a doctorate from Yale. Where'd you go to high school? Because for some reason there's this camaraderie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I know people that they're friends with people on Facebook that they went to high school with, that they didn't talk to for 30 flipping years, and now they're all of a sudden best friends again because they talk to each other on Facebook. Now, that's all well and good for them, but it's not, like, I wouldn't do that. I would talk to them, but I wouldn't go, oh my gosh, yeah, we're best friends, we're reconnected. I mean, I'm friends with people on Facebook that I went to grade school with. I wouldn't say I'm friends with them. I mean, I know that's what they call them on Facebook, but like, I hadn't, up until we became friends on Facebook or started having reunions, I hadn't talked to them ever, because we all moved away from the neighborhood, and I never talked to them after that, right? I think one of the other things that I wrote down here that kind of came to me is and it has come up in conversations over the past, I don't know, probably even the past month, is, oh God. Yeah, says people who reconnect with me off Facebook usually want to sell me Avon. Oh God. I'm sorry, Kaz. To be honest, I've never bought any Avon. Not to say that there's anything bad about Avon, but I'm glad that people aren't doing that to me. Peace, love, and lies. Hello. It says yes, MLM scam. Yeah. So this idea of divide and conquer, right? Okay. This channel over here, and this channel over here, and this channel behind here, and this channel way over there, and this channel like out in the woods, right? They all don't get along, and their creators don't like each other, and this creator says this one's talking bad about them, and yet nobody mentioned their name. And then this creator over here is talking bad about somebody, but they're trying to use a code word that everybody kind of knows. Well, at least anybody who's ever watched that person, right, kind of knows. And then this channel over here is just being accused for whatever reason. And then this channel over here might say a few things or might have not said anything, but some people from this channel over here went into their live chat and they got blocked because they said something stupid or mean or ignorant or, untrue, right? I think that some of these channels and people, and even some people in some of these channels communities, they are taking this kind of divide and conquer mentality. People are going in and trolling on this channel, and then okay, they're going over here and they're getting this information, and then they're coming over here because this person's live and we hate this person, so let's go say this. And in doing this, right, let's say they're in communities on 3 different channels. Okay. So they're in, this channel's Discord, and this channel over here has Slack, and this channel over here has, I don't even know, I don't even know. I'm so out of it because, used to it was Yahoo and AOL, and that's how old I am. I don't even know what else there is out there.
Don't ask me.
I've been using Discord for, over a dozen years. Well, no, they haven't been around for a dozen years. Maybe they've been around 7 or 8 years. But before that, it was, Yahoo Messenger. True Crime Curator said, hey, y'all, Kaz, been thinking of you and sending all the good things. AOL. Yes, it was AOL. Remember that, and, oh my God, remember dial up?
You've got mail.
Everybody had 50,000 of those discs, right? And I used them for cup holders. That's about all good they were. Although I have to say my first DSL connection was with AOL, but it was what it was. But anyway, these people, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a good troll, I actually, I kind of like a good troll. But it seems like most people nowadays, they're not a good troll. I just, before I came live, was looking, I rarely ever look to see if there's any, like comments on my videos or my lives that are in this, I call it the spam thing, but I guess it's, held for review or whatever they call it. And it's like for some sex website, right? It's the same crap that's been going on. It's kind of like you get these stupid things on your phone or your email. You're not even a male, but they want to enlarge you. Please click this link now. Give us your credit card number. Maybe this is a free plug for somebody. I don't know. Give us your credit card number and we will steal your life. Anyway, yeah, I kind of, it's a little frustrating for me because I want people to think. I quite honestly, for the most part, don't care what people do because if you have anxiety or certain mental issues, you probably should stay away from certain activities that people do on YouTube. If you're doing trolling and stalking, that's a good word. Following people around for no reason. Just think about what you're doing and who it affects. Because if you're a channel creator, everything you do affects your community, right? If you have a lot of mentally or physically ill people in your audience, it's one of the things you should try to take into consideration. Now, granted, you can't take and narrow your road on your channel so much that you don't have any content to give. But I don't know, my attitude has always been people should come to my channel for me. If people are only coming for Jeep rides or only coming for gaming or only coming for, true crime that I haven't done for a little bit, but I'm working on how I want to bring that back. That's not going to be me on any given day, right? I've had people tell me, oh, your rants this, and they act like it's a new thing. No, my rants are not a new thing. I would like everybody to look at the playlist that all my rants get shuffled into. I mean, I put them there. That playlist has been around for a little while, and certainly from pre whatever you want to call influx of people. Okay. I just called them something else, right? It was like something on your mind. I don't remember what it is because I made it so long ago. I don't even remember what it's called. I have to look at it. I also want people to think for themselves. So I don't think that any person who is told, oh my gosh, did you hear what Lori did last night? She went down to the bar and she got drunk and she was walking home and she fell on the sidewalk.
After I danced on the bar.
Yeah.
Don't forget that part.
And okay, let's say somebody posts that in the Discord, in like the general room, right? And everybody reads it. And somebody comes in and says, oh my God, Lori, what the hell were you, right? Because they just believed that person, right? But, and this is kind of just an example. God heavens forbid. I've never even, heard Lori a little bit of anything. She drinks, a glass or two of wine. That's it.
God help you if I do.
Freaking tired.
Yeah.
Hi, Florida Gravy. Hi, soul sister. Your husband would totally disagree. This is a rant. It is a rant. He would say it is or isn't a rant. Maybe I'm confused. Did she say something before that?
Would highly disagree. This is a rant.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Well, in my mind, it is a rant in that it's something that's kind of been bugging me. Some of this has been bugging me for a long time, and some of this I was planning on talking about before I left, and then I didn't. But because I do have a life and things come up, and I wasn't gonna try to go live while I was on my trip. That was not happening. But I do think that I would like to see more people get their own information, right? If somebody says, "Oh my God, this YouTuber said such and such about so and so," okay, can you give me a link so I can go listen to it? Can you give me the timestamp? I mean, if you don't really know that person, or even if you do, but they're not at a certain trust level, I don't think you should just take their word for it, because some people hear things differently. Some people are mistaken about things people say. I mean, sometimes I've listened to something when I'm in one mood and I hear it one way, but then if I'm in a better mood 5 days later and somehow I start listening to it again because like maybe it comes up on my feed and it just auto played again. And I go, wait a minute, what was I thinking the other day? I thought I heard this like this, right? Oh, my rants are very loud. Oh, my rants at home and things are usually pretty loud, but yeah, I try not to be that. I don't want to be that way on my channel. I mean, because I flail my arms. I talk with my, I do the whole thing. You have to understand, my ranting and my anger comes from a point of Italian, German, and Irish, and I don't know if it could get much worse than that. Florida Gray Lady. Oh my, Kim has a life like a real person. I know, right? It's surprising. They call me Pukey. Oh my God, they call me Pukey for a reason. Ha ha ha. But I was more to when I got the name publicly. I just embrace it. Well, hey, that's fine. I actually kind of like your name. It's different. So it does, like, when I see it come up on my live stream or in my messages, like, I know who you are because your name doesn't blend in with anybody else's who might have, like, a name that's similar to somebody else's. True crime curator, the German makes you hold the Irish Italian. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. And I know I'm a loud person, and I'm generally loud, and I do get worked up and I get louder, and I'll tell you, Lori has heard me screaming at my daughter accidentally when I, thought I hit the mute button, but I didn't. I mean, so I generally in public forums try not to let that fuse get to that point. No, I understand. I just spoke about. No, that's fine. I'm fine with that. I wanted to make sure I understood what you're saying. Like I said before, right? Sometimes you can misinterpret what people are writing because you read it one way and then you read it another way, and you might get two different meanings out of it. One of the other things that came to mind, and I thought it was kind of funny when I mentioned it to a couple of people. I have to wonder what some of these people, some of these creators even, would do if we woke up tomorrow morning and YouTube was gone, because the next great thing, I mean, there's always the next great thing comes along. And YouTube was gone. What would you do? I don't know. I don't know what they would do. I mean, this is recreational for me, so I could easily, go to another platform if that's where everybody was going, right? And start all over, upload my stuff, whatever. But I know there are people who depend on this for their livelihood, and even as I have watched some gaming channels kind of start out as little fledgling channels when I first started watching them, and they've grown into hundreds of thousands of people, 500,000 people on their channels. I have to wonder, would they be able to stay afloat if they woke up tomorrow and YouTube was gone? Now, generally, you would think that that's not going to happen like overnight, but the reality of the fact that it at some point, there will come competition for it. And then, what do those people do? Are they going to be able to kind of duel and slide over into that platform or not. I don't know. But it is something that some people might need to think about. And speaking about channels, the great sub race came to mind. So you have people that are rushing to get 1,000 subs. You have people that don't give a flying flip. You have people who, I mean, there's one channel this guy has that it's not in the realm of any of it's not true crime. He has an RV. Johnny, if you're out there, it's a free plug. It's called Johnny's Journeys. And I remember when I first started watching him, I really like him. He's a nice guy. He has a very cute channel for anybody who likes, RVing and stuff. Right now, I think the last video I was able to watch, I think he's turning his Prius into
a camper or something?
Something like that. Yeah, or an RV or something. I guess I never heard of it, so I wasn't sure exactly what he was going to do, but I don't know. We'll find out when we see the finished product. But he's done some decent steady growth over the past year, and I think that kind of growth is to me a good example of organically growing your channel at a pace that pretty much anybody could handle, right? I have had a couple month span of a large influx of people, not a huge influx of people, but I think that, so far it's been mostly manageable for me. I don't know. Some of my mods might not think so, but they've been doing a very good job. For me, this is a hobby. I want to have fun. I like meeting new people, and particularly this past year, although I did kind of get into this COVID funk and didn't do any lives or any content for a while. I think that people have needed some outlet and some place to gather socially. I mean, hopefully, the people who tell me that, oh, they love watching my Jeep rides because, they haven't been able to get out over the past year because they're in places where they're in hardcore lockdown. I'm happy to do that. I actually have a ton of Jeep videos. I have to plug in the time to be able to make the videos from it. I actually dash cammed my entire 15-hour drive both ways, although unfortunately I lost some of the video. I will blame myself for that, but I have plenty of content there to turn into videos. I just hope it wasn't the good stuff. I think that if you can handle, rushing and I don't know. I've heard some people call it like the race for 1,000, right? I don't know what they think is going to happen when they get to 1,000. Okay, when you get to 1,000, technically, you can go through YouTube Studio and stream on your phone, and you can apply for getting monetized and all of those wonderful things. If that's your goal, right? But then once you and see, this is the thing I was thinking about the other day. So once you hit 1,000, because YouTube wants you to set that goal. So once you hit 1,000, then what's your next goal? I don't want to think about that. So if it takes me another, year or even 2, I'm okay. I'm actually kind of okay with that. I don't mind getting, a couple of, new subs a day, or, that's fine. It can be slow. I kind of wish that more people would be okay with that, because I think sometimes it causes more friction than it helps. Just my opinion. But I have certainly seen it. I have seen and I know that everybody does not think that gamers are like the cream of the crop or the best people on the face of the earth. However, there are really good people who game. Um, there are also really bad people that game. There are also people who stream gaming on YouTube or Twitch or any other platform that kind of have these hardcore asshole-ish personas that they get out there. But not everybody's that way. Soul sister. She's giving me lots of hearts and tigers. Yes, I love you too, soul sister. I think that in trying to have communities, and to me, I think it's important, although I know there are some creators who do not like the idea of people being involved in other channels or other communities. And I actually think to me, it's a backwards way of thinking. I had somebody tell me the other day how they had gotten at one point in time an email from a creator, basically saying, "Hey, I saw you over here. You were my friend first." And I was actually kind of stunned. I mean, I knew that I had heard people talking about it. I had never heard what was actually said necessarily in that type of message. But it's like, are you kidding me? Because think about it. If somebody is going to other channels and watching other people and making friends with those people, well, if they like your channel enough and they make friendly enough with these people, they may go, "Hey, you know what? I kind of like this channel. You might be interested. Here, go check it out." I mean, I have friends that, in real life that tell me, "Hey, you should go check out this channel. You should go check out this channel." I may not be able to get to it right away, but I do eventually check out the channel, and I quite find a lot of new channels that way. Somebody suggested them to me. So, what would be the bad thing about people going to other channels, and they could be spreading free advertising for your channel by word of mouth, right? I guess as we start to close this out, and there's a couple of things I want people to think about. I do want people to think about the levels of friendship, and it doesn't matter to me if you want to use the names that this doctor does, or if you want to put them in your own named levels, or however it is that you categorize people. But let's face it, we all do, because we don't trust every single person on the planet the same. We can't possibly. There's too many people we have never come in contact with. Just because people don't agree with you, just because people don't do what you want, just because people don't go along with your status quo or your game plan, doesn't mean that that person hates you. Just because somebody doesn't like you and points out your faults or what they don't like about you or what they don't like about your actions, doesn't mean that they hate you. There's a lot of people that talk about other people because they actually care about them and they want them to wake up and smell the coffee burning, or they want them to get help because they have some sort of problem, or they just want them to learn to get along with everybody, because unless you love drama more than anything on the planet, who wants drama 24/7? Nobody does. Thing one says, I was kicked out of Slack for being in Discord, accused of taking screenshots and posting them in Discord. Yeah. I think that there's been probably more than one person accused of that. Hello, Sunflower Brown. Only here for a few minutes. I'll watch on the replay. Okay, no problem. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, there's been a lot of that's happened. I've gotten messages from more than one person telling me they got kicked out of this place for one reason or another. And to be fair, any information that has been gotten out of any other place that isn't our place has never been posted by a regular member in our Discord. I can't think of a one instance. Can you?
No.
I don't think a regular member in Discord has ever posted anything from anybody else's chat place. I can't think of a one incident. But this is one of the things that I think I tried to address in here without actually calling it out like that. It is possible for people to be in multiple chat places and like a creator that you don't like and not share information between the two places. It is possible. There are plenty of people who can do that. To me, it seems that if you have a problem with that, you should probably look at yourself. If you're a creator who is not okay with people being in other people's chats, whether you like the other creator or not, I think you should probably look at yourself and why you are afraid of that. If you are so scared that people are going to share bad things that you say or share bad things other people say, maybe you should clean up your own place before you go tossing out accusations at somebody else's. Just, a little food for thought. I would rather have people saying bad things about my Discord that are actually true than the things that aren't. And so far, everything that has been brought to me that's been said about it, that's, bad and what goes on, it's not true. Do people get talked about? Yeah, absolutely. But it's just like calling your best friend on the phone and going, can you believe what the flip so-and-so said? I just don't know what to make of this. Right? And to be fair, one particular person, a lot of it is, when are they going to wake up? When are they going to wake up? When are they going to get some help? When are they going to take some time off? When are they going to, people are actually generally concerned about some people, even though maybe they don't like them or maybe they've been treated like shit by them. To me, that's called being a human being.
Compassion. On
another level, it's probably because most of these people are Christians of some sort, right?
Yep.
I have spent my entire life thus far trying really hard not to hate people. Now, when you're young and you're stupid, it's pretty easy to hate people. As you get older and you hit middle age, some of that shit just doesn't matter anymore. And I think that people also need to think about the fact and realize that people cannot like you. and still get along with you and be civil with you in a community situation. I mean, don't we do that at work all the time? I can't imagine there's anybody out there that at their job, they 100% love everybody that they work with all the time and think every single one of those people is a wonderful person, a wonderful, smart, hardworking person. I just don't see that happening, right? Thing one says, I know it's okay. There's plenty of good creators to follow. But I think the thing that is frustrating to some of us creators is that there is opportunity for groups of people to work together if everybody could have completely open communication and honesty. And you don't have to have a lot of trust, just a little bit of trust, right? But what happens is you have some people get upset because, well, this person is in this room and this person in this room and this person's in some spy group here, and this person is in this Facebook group here, and this person is over in Discord here, and this person is over in Slack here, and this person is over in Teams here, and what does that matter? I can't wrap my head around what does it matter if there are millions and millions of YouTube channels out there, and there are what, a billion people on YouTube, a billion names, whatever it is. It's a huge number, right? With a lot of zeros. I'm pretty sure that every channel can find some amount of people to socialize with and have a good time while they're on YouTube. I think that some people can't hack lives as well as they would be able to uploading videos. I think that every creator kind of needs to find their niche, and I think that it helps if they have people, if they surround themselves with people who are more helpful than harmful. I'm trying to look at these. Florida Gray Lady, only if certain people are never around others, only behind a screen gives you no personal contact. Right. See, they call me Pukey said, wouldn't it be nice if people just stayed on their lanes and let everyone be? Well, to be fair, have you seen people driving since COVID happened? I mean, the staying in the lanes seems to be more difficult. I don't know if it's a side effect from people who have had COVID that their foot cannot be anywhere but on the floor with the gas pedal, and they don't remember where the brake pedal is. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but I can't tell you how many people are not staying in their lanes on the highway. And hopefully I didn't lose like this part of the videos that I had a tractor trailer on my trip twice, like literally tried to just annihilate me. And it wouldn't have been just annihilating me. It would have been my mom, my sister, and my daughter. God forbid. Like that would have been, terrible. Oh, here we go. Truth teller. This is very hypocritical and self-serving coming from the person that hitched her wagon to people that felt a certain way about another creator. Then you proceed to act the same way. Well, do tell. Why don't you be a little more specific? I would love to hear what you have to say about that, because that's pretty vague. Who did I hitch my wagon to? I mean, my wagon's always been hitched to my Jeep, right? Like, I mean, I'm doing my own thing here. Always have been. I definitely team up with people, but truth tell, I fell nowhere. My ass was kicked out. Yeah, mine was kicked out too. And to be fair, I got kicked out with a group of people that like I didn't have anything to do with what went down. But I mean, whatever. But from what I understand, there's been plenty more purges since that day. So I mean, there's no telling how many. Well, okay, let's be fair. There's been over 100 people kicked out. So that much I do know. Hang on a second. My daughter's here. Okay, sorry. She was worried. I don't want to be on camera. I'm like, no, there's no camera on. This is why. FTR, no one stole. FTR, no one stole me. I tripped over this channel in passing. I took a look. I liked what I saw and I subbed. Oh, so I guess that means you didn't have fun today. Augie, hi all. Don't know what's happening, but I will say this. If I feel you're a good person, nothing you do or say will drive me away. You're stuck with me. Get used to it. Uh-oh. Well, that might be trouble, but that's okay. We'll take it. Casbat says, people hitched their wagon to here, actually. This is Kim's channel and her Discord, and they lacked on so that comment made no sense. No shade there. Everyone was welcome. That's true. That's true. I didn't force anybody in there. The link is always available. And I think that's part of what, I think it's part of it. The beginning what caused some people to be concerned about people running information back and forth or whatever. Oh my gosh, so-and-so didn't like this live or whatever, or, there was no sound. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't understand how something that could be constructive criticism, in all fairness, is misconstrued into hate and slander. I think I actually heard the word slander several times about ridiculousness. I love this channel. So do my other fellow aquatic despots as well. Okay.
Say it like that. Say it
I
like
couldn't.
that.
I couldn't. I just couldn't. I'm not in the mindset. Otherwise, I would love to. So I don't know what the message was, but I didn't hitch my wagon to anybody. I have always flied solo. I have always been willing to work with people. Kaz and I are pretty connected. But I certainly didn't hitch my wagon onto her to go and steal any subs. Every time she promotes me, it's of her own doing. I've never asked her to do it. She's never asked me to promote her. I have done it. I guess I'm a little confused on that statement because I don't hitch my wagon to anybody but myself, maybe my husband, but even that wagon might be falling apart sometimes and needs a little repairs. So you have earned your own, you earned them. I would like to think so. And we love you, Daffy. You make us all smile. That's true. That's very true. We all know who you are, Gaddafi Duck, Mad Dog of Halifax. And we love you very much. And even though I once had to, kind of put you in a mild timeout, I still loved you then, even when I put you in a mild timeout. Augie says, nice to see you, Eminem Mama.
I said it to her first, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That's the problem. When you're trying to do a live and you're trying to watch the chat, things flip so fast. Sunflower Brown says, WTU is hospitable, inclusive, authentic, reasonable, and gives subs a forum in which to express themselves and funny. Well, my daughter doesn't think I'm too funny, but Lori generally thinks I'm funny. Yeah. I mean, we all fall short, right? We all make mistakes, and we all kind of have to keep plugging on. And some people may think that decisions you make are mistakes, and others do not. One of the things that I think is, for me, one of the best ways to run the channel and the Discord is I give 100% backing to my mods, right? And because I do that, before I make any decision, I go to them. Not that I, like have them cast ballots for their vote, but I genuinely listen to what they have to say. And to be fair, I've never made a decision that that I can think of that they all didn't agree with me. And it's not because they always agree with me, because they don't. Lori would be the first person to tell me that, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, get your shit together. But I know if she doesn't do that, then I'm probably okay making the decision regardless of the repercussions that you have to deal with. Because, I mean, YouTube, I don't think people understand this when they start their channel. Before I started my channel, I probably for 2 years did a bunch of research, because for, I don't know, a good 3 or 4 years, I had people that I was gaming with that kept telling me I should open a YouTube channel and I should stream my gameplay. And I thought, well, and so what happened was one of my raiders decided, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a YouTube channel for the guild, and I'm going to record our raid nights, and I'm going to upload them on the channel, and then, people can watch them if they're having problems with the fights or how we down them. And that was actually the first thing that got me thinking about actually doing a channel. And so I started doing research, and I think one of the facts that people don't think about is YouTube is a revolving door, in that you are going to have people that will stay with you the whole time, but you are going to have people that are going to come and go. And you're going to have people that are going to, like, they might leave your channel for a year because maybe they have an illness, or maybe, their life just takes them in a different direction. And then they come back, a year or two later, and they start watching you again. And you have, other things where people, completely drop off, even of their not of their own volition, right? Maybe they, die or something. And this was something I guess I didn't think about, and I was hearing this guy talk about this, and I thought, well, yeah, and I guess you don't really take that into consideration, but we're all going to end up dying at some point, right? So eventually we're going to quit watching all these channels we're watching. Right? And as much as you don't like to think about that, it kind of is a fact of life, So people are definitely going to come and go. And I think you kind of have to be able to figure out a way to adapt to that. This day you might go on a live and you might have 10 people, and then all of a sudden one day, I mean, it happened to me. Like, I had a steadily like 10, 13 people, and then one day I went live and like nothing really had happened. My subs didn't like go up. And one day I had 30 people, and I thought, what in the heck happened? Right?
We were shocked that day.
I was like, where'd these people come from? Okay, maybe there's going to be some trolls in there, because believe it or not all trolls are because they hate you. There are literally people who troll everybody on YouTube and every other platform there is, because that's what they like to do. They don't like to watch your content. They like to troll you. Just like all these people that leave these ridiculous spam comments about, you know, get, you know, get sex here, whatever the hell they, watch live ladies here, whatever it is, right? That all of us, it goes into our little spam thing and we delete it or it eventually goes away. That stuff's everywhere. Doesn't mean that those people are necessarily, oh, they must be from this channel over here because we just had a big fight with them and a bunch of them left. Yeah, no, not always. That's not always what it is. Florida Gray Lady said, WhiteTiger, others need to remember, if you believe we are not to judge, that is a higher power's job. So who can't follow from that from the Bible? Right. Yeah, we don't. Well, okay. I think that people's definition of judging are also different. And I think that does cause more conflict than it does good sometimes. If somebody states that behavior is unacceptable, it doesn't mean that the person is judging you as a person. Like, it doesn't mean they think you're a terrible, hateful person, right? But if you walk into a store and you steal a candy bar or a blouse or a pair of tennis shoes, and somebody says, hey, you're not supposed to be stealing, go take those back or I'm calling the police. It doesn't mean they're judging you, right? It means they're judging that your action is inappropriate. There's a huge difference there, but that is a good point, and I appreciate it. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at these messages. So I hope that everybody can kind of think through things. I never make rash decisions. I've said that before, and I'm sure there's a few people, if not a lot of people watching tonight or listening on replay that will say, oh no, you hurried up. And no, I didn't, because believe it or not, I talked to people before I made any decisions. Reason being is I do want somebody to tell me if I'm acting like an idiot or if I'm acting harshly or if I'm reacting. I don't like to react. I don't know if this is because it was so ingrained to me as a small child playing softball that, you kind of, they teach you look at the situation. There's a person on first base, there's a batter up, you're playing shortstop. Okay, if they go to steal second, you're going to have to back up the second baseman. If they hit the ball on this side of the field, you're going to have to go to second base. If they hit it on the, like, you're taught, or I was taught, I think because I had a really good coach, that you have to think all these things through. That's what you're doing while the pitcher's pitching to the batter, and every time they get ready to swing at that ball, you're thinking, okay, if this comes to me, this is what I'm going to do. If it goes to that person, this is what I'm going to do. If it goes outfield, this is what I'm going to do. And it probably is the reason why I don't go, oh, they did this? Oh, now I'm going to do this. I usually think through it. If I need to make a quick decision, usually I'm running it by, at the very minimum, Lori, if not the rest of my mods.
Most of the time,
So
all your mods.
I will give you all in the chat a few minutes to ask me any questions, make any more comments. I do want everybody in a community. I don't care if you're not in my community, if you're in another creator's community. I think this is general information that people need to have and think about. If you are clearly associated with a person, group, or community or channel, I think it's really important for you to consider if your actions are going to do anything negative to that group of people. I clearly could have gotten up here and actually did a real rant and rave and gone off the deep end. It's not really the right way to handle things. So I took my notes from last week and I made more notes. And I have pages and pages of notes, just thoughts that went through my head. I woke up this morning uh, right before the alarm went off and had another thought of how to kind of open up this live. So this is why I don't script my lives. This is why, I will take notes and make bullet points and I'll refer to them and look at them. I actually read my notes to the mods earlier. And they'll tell you they're not complete sentences. Some of them, they're just words. Some of them put together. They're not even necessarily complete thoughts. I've always kind of run with whatever I'm supposed to say will come out. Somebody evidently needs to hear it. I don't know who it is or why they need to hear it, but if it helped one person, I'm good with that. I wish I could stay, but I really need to go. Have a good evening, everybody. Okay, Sunflower Brown, we'll catch you later. Let's see. Sarah, such a good thought. Using strategy to make decisions. It's kind of been something I've done. I mean, I can't say that when I was younger, like teenager, we all, just wing ding and do stupid things when we're teenagers. But I have found it's the best way. I mean, some decisions I still go to my mom and I'm like, okay, I'm thinking about this. What do you think? And I get her ideas on it. Not that I listen to what she says, but not that I always take her advice, but I respect it enough that hearing it makes me think to make sure that what I want to do is the right thing. A Florida Gray Lady, that's great. That's the great thing. Not everybody needs to agree on anything. It's right. It's right. We don't have to, and quite honestly, we don't even have to like each other. Everybody can get along. I mean, we do it at work. We do it at work with people we don't like. You go to the movie theater, right? And the movie theater is packed, and the person next to you is like stealing the armrest. I'm sure we've all kind of had this happen. Right? Like, okay. And okay, I'm not a small person, so I try to avoid sitting by those people. Although now a lot of our theaters, they have the lift up arms. So like my husband and I can sit together, we can lift up the arm, and kind of sit together. But the person puts their arm on the thing and okay, you can't do it. And on the other side, like, your kid has their arm on that one. So you're like, okay, I'm just going to cross my arms on my right. You don't get mad at that person and go, oh, for freak's sake, I'm never going back to the movie theater or the ballpark or to, this concert because, there's jerks there all the time. No, that's not really how we figure out how to deal with it. Okay, it's only 2 hours. Oh, it's only, the ball game might be 3 hours. The movie might be 2, 3, 3.5 hours, depending, I guess, what movie you're watching. Morgan Free Beer says, hello, my name is Morgan Free Beer. I've read the show script on the back of the beer bottle. Ooh, which beer was it? I guess it was Morgan Free Beer, right? Just some food for thought for everybody. I'm going to guess that nobody has any questions. Everybody knows where to find me when I am not on a live. I am, my phone is permanently attached to my forehead so that I don't lose it. And I can always be reached in Discord or private message or whatever. If people do not like Discord and do want to get a hold of me, whether it be to tar and feather me or to say nice things to me, my email address and social media that I, don't typically post on, but I probably will get a notification if you message me, or all on the About tab of the channel page. I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank everybody. I don't know. Did anybody get blocked or banned or deleted a message, or was everybody behaving tonight?
I think there were 2 messages
that got deleted.
Yeah, one was
Dennis?
Morgan Free Beer.
Morgan Free Beer.
Mhm.
Dennis
And the other
Prager
one
wrote,
was Truth Teller, I believe.
you mean they tried to give me the information I asked for and it got deleted? Maybe it was cursing words.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Oh, okay, that's okay. Texas Lassie, tonight has been an interesting topic with many different ways to view any situation. Personally, I put a lot of weight on intent regarding any situation. Are actions taken with or without intent? I think some actions do have intent, and I think other actions, I don't know. I don't think all actions necessarily have intent behind them. I think that, I think if you would like to discuss that topic, I would, in more detail, not out in public, I would be happy to talk to you about it. I am not one who thinks that everybody's, business needs to be splattered all over YouTube. I know that some creators do that, and I just don't really think it's necessary. I think it kind of plays into a conversation we had earlier, maybe. That's okay. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I know somebody would say opinions are like, a-holes. Everybody has one. Sorry, Mr. Shannonite. I thought you were drunk. Oh, dear God. Oh, you'll get used to that. That's... Oh, my God. That's okay. Well, thank you, everybody, for not having to have too many things deleted. Exactly. I see some channels actually take intentional actions on someone when they did something without intent. SA, for example. I guess I still don't really get what you're talking about. Feel free to send me a message if you want. I will be happy to discuss exactly what you're talking about, but I don't really want to specifically talk about any creator out there for everybody else to, see their business. It's not really appropriate.
And not done on this channel.
Yeah. No, there's a perfectly good reason why when there was a mass exodus, whether forcefully or by choice from another channel, that my choice then was to not do the thing that I know I've been accused of, and that's, using her for views. But I've never once tagged her, hashtagged her, put her in my description, because I don't need to. I don't. Those are not the people that I want over on my channel anyway. Thank you, Thing One. Sarah, very good live message. Thank you for taking the time. Nice to see you, everyone. Take care. Till we meet again. Toodles. Good night, Sarah. And thank you to all my mods. And thank you, Lori, for coming up here. And maybe being the voice of reason. Maybe some people don't think you're the voice of reason. I don't know. But I do appreciate you being here. And thank you, Casbat. I hope you did not fall asleep. Thank you to What Big Eyes. And I don't know if, Evie is out there lurking, trying to beat Kaz on the button, but she might be asleep. I don't know which. She's trying to imply something bad was done to someone when they didn't intend to do something wrong. It depends. If I use a space hopper and knock someone into the street and they get hit by a car, that's funny. The other night, we had an interesting discussion in Discord about a similar thing. Okay, so if that's what she's talking about, it's kind of like the little kid, right, who finds his dad's gun and shoots his little brother, in the leg, right? And they take him to the hospital, and um, the little kid really didn't intend to shoot his brother, but like just because he didn't intend to, it doesn't undo the action, right? I think that it is possible that some people see different intent and okay, I think that some people see different intent in things. I think some people can see that there's no bad intent in things, but still feel the need to shore up security in places. And I think that if you have a channel and a Discord or a Slack or a Teams or whatever, Skype group, whatever, Skype, that was the one I couldn't think of earlier. Telling you, I'm getting old and senile sometimes. I think that everybody can make their own decisions, and I think that as much as I didn't want to throw this out, I think it's kind of ridiculous when people expect to be in certain places, and then throw a temper tantrum when they're not. I think that the intention of certain rooms in Discord ebb and flow, because I'm going to assume that this is what we're talking about, right? There's an ebb and flow. I have had to rearrange and change things around several times. And of course, I will take the blame for everything that is done because I ultimately make the decisions, but have no fear that those decisions were not made lightly, and they were not made without my mod squad agreeing with me. Okay, maybe there was one that did not, but never intimated that to me. I think that's about all I will say on that, because I've always said that I'm open and honest and blunt, and I do not want to mention other people's channels because I don't want anything bad to come to those people. I don't hate anybody. I don't dislike them. There are some channels that I will never watch again that I used to watch. There are other channels that I do not have any wish any ill will to, and some of them, some of the channel owners think that like I'm trying to I tried or did take their channel down. What that didn't happen. I don't know who did, but it wasn't me. I have much better things to do with my time. I have a Jeep to do modifications to. I have property to do modifications to. I have a house to do modifications to. I have to go to work every day.
And
Pretty
you have
much.
family. Don't forget about your family.
Yeah. And I have my dogs.
Oh yeah, don't forget those.
I just pretty much figured everybody knows I have a family. I shouldn't have to say that. We can chat later. Just one of those deep thought subjects. I know I use the rule on myself all the time. Keeps giving me grace. Casbat, I honestly am not implying anything. I have not been active for a while. I was just listening to her discussion and wanted to share how I do things. Okay, so I want to make something very clear here. Texas Lassie is going to get a lot of leeway with me regardless of what she says. Oh, there's my husband. I love you, honey, and I love how you just kind of pop in to, say shit sometimes. I thought you weren't watching me because it was drama all the time now. I'm pretty sure that's what you said the other. But anyway, Texas Lassie, I want my mods to know she's going to get a bit of extra leeway here because she is a fellow Marine mom. I don't think she will ever intentionally do anything harmful because of that. And like I've always said, I am completely open to discussion. I will talk to you about any of it that you want behind the scenes. If you want to mention names, and you know where to find me. Peace, love, and lies. Spread joy, and it all works out. I think that's probably a good way to think about some of that. Yes. Sometimes joy. Some people don't like joy. But I don't really know what to do about those people. But maybe you can make them laugh. And to my husband, I do a Jeep mod? I'm trying to think if any of that I've done. Well,
you're good at instructions.
I will. I'm good at ordering things.
Yeah, that too.
But I do help him with the decals. I mean, I would screw them up more than, he does putting them on, but I do help him with decals. And to be fair, I did spend my part of stimulus on my bumpers. So
yes.
Texas Lassie says, no, I have been busy with a trial prep for the guy who broke in my house. I have just gotten back online this week. Oh my God. I am so sorry. Well, then maybe you know or don't know, but I got to go see my son last week. Yes, I hope you are successful. Hopefully he didn't get too much or tear up your house too much. But I do hope that turns out well for you. Thing one, Kaz says, I love your song. Okay, we've been on here long enough, and I am drained. Work was better, but not that great. I'm still playing, 2 weeks behind catch up now at work. But thank you to everybody for coming. Thank you, everybody, for behaving. And Mr. Shannonite, I am so sorry that Big Eyes thought you were a drunk. She'll eventually get used to your crazy names. Generally speaking, if anybody comes in here with a very creative and crazy name, it's probably him. I want to thank you again, Lori, for coming up here. All my mods, you guys are wonderful. All my people in Discord and in my live chat, you guys, you are very good at putting little memes and cheering me up when, it's Monday and it's a terrible day. And I look at the funny, memes and everything, and it's
it helps.
Yeah, it is. It's funny to look at. I actually never look at them and think, oh my God, who are they talking about? No, I actually just am like, oh my God, that's funny in hell. I don't care. I don't care if they're pissed off at somebody and posting that. Always great to hug our Marines. No, I had him at gunpoint and put him in jail. Amen. Good for you. So I hope your case turns out just fine. Please keep me posted. Good night, Pukey. Again, totally enjoyed tonight. Thing one. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. I guess I should say this. I know normally we do these Friday night things. Eminem Mama cannot join us. So I have opted to not do a live on Friday, but I will do my very best to get a Jeep video up for you guys to watch. But I will be in Discord. My daughter is turning 16 this weekend, so it might be a depressed weekend. I don't know. I can't believe she's going to be 16. 15 was bad enough. How bad is 16 going to be? Yeah, I don't know.
You
This
don't
one might be.
know.
Yeah, this one might be pretty bad, right?
Yeah.
Maggie, I came late, but I wanted to say hi and bye. Well, hello, Maggie. That's what replays are for. Everybody can watch it on the replay. If anybody, has any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. I do read all the comments. I try to respond to as many as possible. All my contact places are on my About tab on the channel. The Discord link should have been posted if anybody's interested in joining that. Should have been posted in the chat. And I will see you all next time. I'm going to guess the next live will probably be next Tuesday again. I'll try to do it. Take care. And now I have to flip this. We will see you next time.
Have a
Bye.
good night.